Paul Sedgwick took a deep breath and entered the room. The alien entity was already seated at the opposite end of the table, adjusting its flat cap and jacket. It eyed Paul, seeming to study him from top to bottom. It could tell he was nervous. Likewise, he sensed apprehension in the entity. Even though he knew the interview would be monitored via camera and that backup was right outside the door, he could not help but feel vulnerable under its intense stare. "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Paul Sedgwick. You can call me Paul. I have some questions for you. If you cooperate, this will go much easier for you, and for me as well. And your accommodations here will be—" "Gosh darn it, kid. Get on with it, will ya? Time's money, and my money is going down the drain as we speak. Forget about the accommodations, 'cause I ain't staying here after this." Paul was taken aback by the outburst. This was his first assignment, and he had felt ready to face the worst otherworldly entity possible, but this defied his expectations in the weirdest way. He was not expecting an imposing alien entity such as the one before him now to behave like his stubborn grandfather. "I have to be firm and stern," he kept telling himself. "I can't blow my first real assignment. Sir, I'm going to ask you to calm down or you'll be left in the cell until—" "What? What are you gonna do, huh? Kill me? Do it then. I bet you couldn't hurt a fly." The entity stood abruptly. Immediately, the backup team rushed into the room, guns drawn. "Freeze! Don't move or I'll shoot." "Oh, you don't want to do this, boyo." Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we're bringing you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-5374. SCP-5374, also known as Alan Gray, is a 1.14 meter tall, gray-skinned, hairless humanoid with large black eyes and no visible nose or ears. The origin of this entity is currently unknown, but it is fully sapient and has access to advanced anomalous technology in the form of SCP-5374-1. Prior to Containment, it owned and operated Farmer Gray's all-natural cattle company under the alias Alan Gray. SCP-5374-1 is a spacecraft approximately 26 meters in diameter that is capable of both atmospheric flight and travel through vacuums. It is disc-shaped with a raised dome in the center and a cannon-like mechanism protruding from the base. This mechanism is capable of emitting directed beams of light that can disintegrate solid matter. 5374-1 is invisible to radar and all other known means of detection except direct visual identification. Starting in June of 2016, the spacecraft was witnessed all across mainland US until it was contained by the Foundation in January of 2017. It has proven difficult to distinguish reports of genuine 5734-1 sightings from the large quantity of false sightings of UFOs received across the country each year, and as such, Paul Sedgwick was assigned to sift through reports of sightings that could be linked to suspected or known 5374 activities. "Hey, Sedgwick, what are you working on over there?" "Oh, nothing much. Just compiling data from the facility's last containment breach the other day. It's almost done." "All right, whatever. You can put that on hold. I need your help with this huge list of reports about UFO sightings. Actually, why don't you just take this, and I'll handle whatever you're doing now, eh?" Sure. I'll handle it." "All right, great. Cool. Awesome. I'll leave it to you then. I'm gonna go work on that thing you were working on, because there's lots to do." "All right, enough talk. Bye." A few minutes after his superior proudly waltzed out of the room, Paul received a folder chock full of reports. Just from looking at it, he could tell that this task would take a team of 4 weeks to complete. Paul's colleague, Chadwick, walked into the room and immediately noticed the stunned expression on his face. "Hey bro, I saw the boss leaving the room all jolly-like. Man was practically dancing, and here you are with that look on your face. What are you looking at? Holy, it's my new assignment. I have to look through all of these reports of UFO sightings and find the real ones." "Good luck with that, bro. If exhaustion doesn't get you, the aliens will. They'll know you're onto them now." You're not serious, right? Is that why he wants me to handle this file?" With no other options, Paul got to work. He worked tirelessly and managed to compile a series of events that could be attributed to 5374. The first known sighting that matched the spacecraft's description was reported in Haskell County, Texas on the 24th of June, 2016. 3 cows were discovered missing from a farm. The following month, multiple crop circles were identified on farms across Nebraska, as well as more sightings of 5374-1. Each of the crop circles was in the shape of different words, most notably. The next sightings were so outlandish that they compelled him to conduct interviews with the eyewitnesses. Yeah, I saw it all right. There was this huge saucer swooping in from nowhere. It just suddenly appeared in the sky, and then it shot out a huge laser beam, bright as hell, completely destroyed some farms way down yonder. I told everyone, but they wouldn't believe it. But that dang crater from the explosion was still there, man, I'm telling you. I was doing my rounds one night and I saw it, that ugly alien thing wearing a silver spacesuit or something. And it was trying to get my cows into his spaceship. So I ran up to him and hollered at him like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing to my cows?" And that thing was furious, I'm telling you. He took out like a laser gun or something and told me to back off or he's gonna disintegrate me to ashes. And then it left, just like that? Yeah, I figured he's civilized enough to tell me before shooting. He's good enough to have those cows, so I let him. You're just scared, weren't you? Furthermore, the CEOs of Tyson Foods, Cargill Meat Solutions, and Conagra Brands were all abducted by 5374, so Paul arranged an interview of the CEOs. Yeah, we were abducted by an alien and got taken to some barren planet. I don't know where. It told us to stop exporting beef and any related products to the UK. Otherwise, we'd be fried by what seemed to be a laser gun of some sort. We had to agree, of course, and the next thing I knew, we were out in some woods. Damn thing didn't even have the decency to leave us somewhere near civilization. Not to mention, we didn't even have clothes on our backs when it dumped us. After becoming aware of 5374, the Foundation's optical satellites were redirected to monitor multiple large cattle farms across the United States mainland. On January of 2017, satellites were able to track 5374-1 to its location of origin, a farmhouse in rural Yorkshire, UK. After compiling the data, Paul presented it to his superior officer, who was lounging in his office. What the? You actually went and done it? In 4 days? I thought for sure you'd be… You know what? This is your file from now on. You handle this anomaly. Paul's next course of action was requesting a raid on the farmhouse. Before the raid, remote surveillance was carried out at the location, identifying 5374 as being present within the farmhouse, as well finding its spacecraft located at a nearby farm. In one of the surveillance photos, 5374 was seen fixing its spacecraft with a set of tools. Notably, it was not wearing the silver spacesuit described in previous encounters. Instead, it wore conventional human clothing, including a tweed jacket and a flat cap. That's the alien you were investigating? Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't expecting an alien to wear human clothes. Oh my god, I think it's looking at us. Yeah, and it looks grumpy. But still, be careful, bro. I heard this thing and its flying saucer can beam you away, even when you're inside, under a roof. If you see sudden bright lights, bro, run. Yeah, thanks for the tips. Alright, I got this. A team of agents from Site 109 conducted a raid on the farms, taking 5374 into containment, along with the spacecraft. 5374 was escorted by a team of armed security into the interview chamber. Paul Sedgwick and Chadwick observed from a distance. "Stop pointing that gun at my face and get your filthy hands off me." He sounds just like your granddad when he gets all cranky. Next thing you know, he'll probably demand a lawyer. And later, that's exactly what he did. You want a what? That's right, you heard me. I want a lawyer. I've had enough with all your guns and hollering. People used to be more civilized. Cover me, I'm switching to non-lethal. Stop, lethal or not, put down your guns, damn it. And no sir, you cannot have a lawyer. Why not? Is it because of my skin color? The way I look? Well, to be fair… Well, then that's just rude, don't you think? Sir, you stole cows and abducted people. So what? I've stolen a few cows, and I didn't kill those men, did I? Yeah, maybe I got a tad upset and acted rash, But them big American corporations have been flooding Britain with cheap, low-quality beef, and no one's buying my beef no more. Gone are the days when people would flock to some good old rustic, locally grown beef products. Now everyone just wants cheap meat. Look, we are not interested in your crimes, but you're not going anywhere. Frankly, aside from those crimes, your very presence amongst the public is a threat to normalcy. You will remain here in containment, and the comfort of your stay will depend heavily on how cooperative you are. Now, if you tell me what you do and where you're from, you bunch of prejudicial animals, ain't no way I'm staying here. 5374 pulled a ray gun from his jacket and waved it around. Paul immediately stepped in and pushed down the gun barrel of the lead security officer, who had been about to fire. You don't want to do this, pal. My colleague here is very excited right now. One wrong move and his gun will shred you to pieces. You didn't bother to frisk him? I didn't farm my entire life just to stay in some cruddy building. And if that means having to get out of here, I'm taking you with me, boyo. Wait, what do you mean? Whoa, what the? No! Suddenly, a huge beam of light shot through the ceiling, catching both 5374 and Paul in it. As they began to float, Paul struggled to maintain balance. Stop right there! Come back down at once! Sorry, but you're not invited, boyo. It fired a laser through the security lead's body, disintegrating him into ashes within seconds. Where are you taking me? The beam disappeared, along with Paul and 5374. A giant circular hole where the beam of light had come through was all that remained. Paul was later found in a nearby forest, shivering and without clothes. 5374, however, was seen to have resumed farming on the far side of the moon. It is unclear how it or its cattle are able to survive without oxygen, water, or food, but reports from Site 109's astronomy department indicate that the cows appear to be thriving, and that 5374 has shown no desire to return to Earth. It all started when a man suddenly coughed up blood on a busy street. Passers-by rushed over to help, while others took out their phones and started recording. Are you okay? I don't feel so good. My body, it hurts so much. Suddenly, human limbs and heads burst through the man's torso as he screamed. People started fleeing in panic, yet it didn't deter those who remained and continued filming. The recordings went viral across the globe. A beginning to the end of the world. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation, Apollyon-class object, SCP-7004. SCP-7004, also known as Insane, Wailing, Feral, is a Class 10 realization-type memetic infohazard, currently infecting over 75% of the human population. When a normal person perceives 7004, they are immediately subjected to a blossom event. The effects of a blossom event is as follows: an immediate tearing pain in the subject's abdomen, followed by the torso violently rupturing due to multiple hands and fingers bursting from within. Having 2 to 27 separate individuals burst out of the rupture, from 3-month-old toddlers to 100-year-old adults. The rupture causes the immediate death of the subject and creates an instance of SCP-7004-1. Loud screaming from each of the emerged individuals, henceforth designated as SCP-7004-1 petal instances, who are themselves carriers of 7004. SCP-7004 was first discovered on July 15, 2021, following several reports of people with multiple bodies emerging at different locations across the globe, including the US, China, and India. On July 16th, videos of people bursting apart went viral on various popular online video sharing platforms. These videos showed the 7004-1 petal instances screaming, which transmitted 7004 even further, causing more blossom events to occur worldwide. A link was then drawn between the act of watching these videos and the occurrence of blossom events. Thus, the Global Occult Coalition started taking down videos related to 7004. However, this only fueled speculations and discussions in online conspiracy theorist forums, which inadvertently exposed the users to 7004. By July 17th, approximately 156 million individuals had undergone Blossom events and turned into 7004-1 instances. The Foundation officially joined hands with the GOC in an effort to suppress and contain SCP-7004. Shortly after, a media blackout of official news outlets was implemented. Unfortunately, 7004 continued spreading via the internet, exposing roughly 600 million more individuals to Blossom events. The containment of 7004 was thereafter elevated to Priority Alpha. Information blackouts became the primary containment method, leading to restrictions of online activities in several countries. But once again, it only promoted discussions of 7004, causing an outbreak of millions more Blossom events in countries unaffected by the bans. July 20th, the number of individuals infected reached 1 billion, escalating the anomaly's disruption class to Amida. Operations to halt the spread of SCP-7004 remain ongoing till this day. On July 22nd, it was reported that a whopping 6 billion people were infected. Blossom events took place even among Foundation staff members, disrupting suppression efforts tremendously. The next day, Site-82 sent a distress signal. Soon after, it was declared inoperative. One by one, Foundation facilities fell. Following these back-breaking events, the Etna Protocol was activated on the orders of O5-4. As such, the O5 Council suspended operations with executive authority given to regional directors and site directors until central leadership can be re-established. Site-01 was a ghost town, as most of the Foundation personnel were infected and died from the Blossom events. 5 members of the O5 Council gathered at the round table in the conference room. So here we are, the remaining members of the Council, the last bastion of humanity. When you put it that way, surely there's a solution to all this madness. Unfortunately, there are no solutions, except for what I'm about to propose. O5-4 slid an envelope towards O5-1, who was seated in front of him. One undid the envelope string and retrieved a series of documents. This is... God. SCP-2000? Ganymede? Upon hearing those words, O5-9 stood up and banged her fist on the table. That's just as good as giving up. We can't just retreat to SCP-2000 without giving this another shot. What are you suggesting that we do then? Look around you. Everything's gone to hell. There's nothing we can do against this. 9 turned towards the rest of the members for support, but was only greeted with solemn expressions in agreement with 4's proposal. Damn it, I don't like this. So it's agreed then. 1 began standing up to speak, but was interrupted by the door behind him opening. All O5 Council members turned to look at the door as O5-2 shambled into the room. Blood was dripping from his mouth onto his suit. As he staggered to the round table, he leaned into the nearest person, 1, who stood up to help 2 stay on his feet. Christ, are you okay? Oh God. 2 coughed up more blood, staining the conference table and 1's shirt. 1 promptly let go of 2 and stumbled backwards. 9 tried to hurry towards him, but was stopped by 4. No, don't. Something's not right with him. As 4 continued observing 2, he noticed the latter was trying to open his mouth. Cover your ears! The rest immediately did as 4 commanded, but they couldn't mask 2's deafening screams. Suddenly, his abdomen tore open from within, several fingers emerging and pulling at the widening wound. A bloody and panting human head popped out of O5-2's abdomen, followed by an arm as it tried to push itself out. All the council members moved back in shock as 2 continued to scream in agony. Still covering his ears, 4 could only look on helplessly. As the 7004-1 pedal instance carried on its endeavor, O5-5 suddenly began coughing up blood, followed by 9. O5-6 moved back in shock before doubling over as she too began vomiting blood on the floor. Panicking, O5-1 drew a pistol from the garter of his pants. He fired several shots at 6 until she lay dead. O5-1 and O5-4 looked at each other despairingly. The madness didn't stop. A thin trail of blood began dripping from 1's lips, directly followed by him vomiting more blood on the table. No! Stop! Don't come any closer! 1 slid his pistol across the table to 4. You know what to do. Don't let us suffer the same way 2 did. Do it! 4 grabbed firmly onto the pistol. In one swift motion, he fired a shot directly at 1's head, killing him instantly as he dropped to the floor with a thud. For a moment, 4 froze as he looked around and stared blankly at the chaos unfolding in front of him. The other overseers were convulsing and screaming in pain. He begrudgingly pointed the gun at one of them, then pulled the trigger. But the gun jammed. Great. He turned and saw arms bursting out of 1's corpse. Next to it, 6's corpse, already a 7004-1 pedal instance, was twitching violently. Realizing what was happening, 4 immediately dropped his gun and clamped his hands tightly onto his ears. He ran past his dying comrades, deftly dodging the reaching hands of pedal instances that had emerged from 2. He ran out of the conference room, disappearing from sight as the door closed behind him. Along the hallway, 4 ran past more instances of 7004-1, all of whom were once Foundation personnel. Agents, researchers, pencil pushers, every single one of them had lost their humanity. Now reduced to nothing more than stumbling masses of flesh with outgrowths of arms and fingers, these instances wailed and cried. 4 eventually found his way into the inner chamber. He turned on a terminal and started recording. All right, this should be ringing your bells. Hello, I am 05-4, and to my knowledge, I am the last 05 still left alive. You don't know jack about anything right now, and if you do, then there goes our last hope to stop this thing. But if you don't, and I'm counting on that, then you deserve an explanation. The world has ended. A memetic infohazard, SCP-7004, has ended it. And right now, Navarra, Mullins, you're the only 2 people left on Earth that can make sure that we can come back from this. So my last express request is this. Go to Yellowstone, find SCP-2000, input the numbers 1225-2000 into it. Reset the world, save it, or, well, what's left of it. This document will tell you everything you need to know about it, everything to get you up to speed, everything to prepare for all that it's worth. Before the rest of the council went dark, we did everything we'd need to make sure 2000 comes online once you get there. You've gotten a promotion to level 5, effective immediately. That should give you the credentials you need to start Procedure Lazarus. Congratulations for what it's worth. As he spoke, 4 could taste iron in his mouth. Then came the coughing of blood. Damn it. I need to go. I don't have much time left. I wish I could say more, but I'll end the recording here. If I let it go on any further, what you'd hear next would drive you insane. Godspeed. 05-4 ended the recording. His coughs were getting more and more painful by the second. He could feel something in his chest about to burst through. Who knew this is how each one of us would end up? 05 or not, we're still humans after all. All life signs were extinguished from Site-01.